Hello everyone. So doing something a little bit different with this video. I already tried something extra different with this video. I was going to record a like a live action segment for the beginning of the video where you'd actually see me and I'd be interacting with things and to sort of show you what I meant by everything we're doing in this video. But that didn't happen. And now I'm doing post-recording for my audio. And basically what that means is I've already recorded the video, didn't like how any of the stuff I said sounded, and I'm doing it again. This will hopefully give me a good chance to sort of sit down, properly think about what I'm doing on screen, and I can watch it back and all that sort of good stuff. So basically today we're talking about traditional line art and how to color over it or separate it out. And what I'm doing on screen right now is something called extracting, which is, I think, exclusive only to Photoshop CS3, which is what we're currently sitting in. Like, you'll see that it's not like the typical Photoshop you're used to seeing in my videos, but the extract tool, what that allows you to do is paint over everything that you want to extract out, select the color you want to extract, and because we're dealing with, you know, predominantly black lines, you extract those out and they become a transparent layer of their own. You get rid of all the white on that layer. Basically anything that isn't the color you selected just goes away. So now you end up with a transparent ink layer, and you can carry on basically coloring however you want. And I think, yeah, here we go. I'm going to illustrate this by moving a new layer underneath it and making it white again, just to show you that, you know, it's transparent inks now. You don't have to worry about anything, but it is a bit hazy. So what I typically like to do, and once I'm sure I'm done explaining it in the actual video, you'll see that basically if you duplicate the ink layer, you can actually remove some of that haziness. You can also, I think I'm actually, yeah, it's been a while since I've used old Photoshop, even though they're both the same. Yeah, so you duplicate that layer, and yeah, all the helpful windows were off screen. So yeah, you duplicate the layer, and then that removes an element of the haziness. So if you do end up with hazy lines, and I guarantee at some point you will, don't worry too hard about it. You can easily just mitigate it by doing that. Another way is obviously to go to Image, Adjustments, and then Levels, and you can mess around with the actual levels of the layer that you're on. So obviously because we removed all the whites, there is no need for the white slider, and the grayscale slider is basically useless as well. What you want to play with here is just the dark end of the spectrum. Obviously it didn't really affect too much, but you know, just that subtle tweak will help like those lines just become more cohesive and full and all that sort of stuff. And that's basically it. That is the whole reason why we started off in CS3, was to just show you off the extract tool. Now you probably don't have access to the extract tool, and that's fine, because Adobe just sort of abandoned it after CS3, and we've gone through a fair few extra like CSs since then. And we're now obviously in Creative Cloud. Creative Cloud doesn't have extract. I think you can download like a third-party version of it somewhere, but I don't trust doing that. Obviously that's up to your own discretion. If you trust like third-party programs that help with Photoshop, then by all means download those to your heart's content, as long as they're safe. But now we're going to cut over in a second over to the actual Photoshop that we do use, so I can show you another method. And this one's not going to take that much explaining, thankfully. So here we are in the other Photoshop, and you'll see that we are looking at exactly the same image, except it hasn't been separated from, like, the blacks and whites haven't been separated in the background layer. And that's because, obviously, like I just said, there's not really any easy way to do it in Photoshop CC. I know there are methods, I just don't know any of them off by heart. If you do know them, by all means link them in the comments or explain them in the comments. I'll be happy to know them, and you'll be helping someone else, I bet. So please go right ahead and do that. But what I'm going to show you is like the most simple and standard way of doing this. It's a bit of a headache, because you don't typically want to do it this way. There are probably way easier ways to do it, but this is the way that I figured out how to do it. And it's probably the same way you'll probably just fall onto as well. But basically what we're going to be doing is playing with multiply layers. And I'm hoping the video hasn't frozen, because it looks like, oh, there we go. Yeah, so we're going to be playing with multiply layers. And fortunately enough, I thought ahead, and last night I actually did a little bit of this ahead of time. So I'm just going to click all the layers on, and you can see that even though they're above the background layer, the colors aren't removing anything of the background layer. Like, you can still see the lines through the colors. And the way that works is because they're multiply layers. What I mean by multiply is basically, multiply is, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of like playing with an actual paint palette. You know when you, or maybe, actually no, it's probably not, like, if you've ever played with, like, thank you Joey, I've got my parrot out today. Anyway, if you've ever played with, I mean, this is like a media student specific thing, but those plastic coloured sheets you can put over lights, if you've ever played with those, it's kind of like that, where if you get a red and a green and you put them over each other, you end up with like a dark like mix of red and green. And I'm probably going to show that off right here, actually, now I think about it. Yeah, so I select the red in the hair and then I go over the green, and as you can see, it's kind of like putting those clear plastic sheets over one another. But basically, Multiply, it just adds the colour to the colour underneath it. And because obviously we're typically playing with white and black, black will bleed through and not be affected, and the white will turn into the colour that you want it to be. So basically, when you're doing it this way, you just want to avoid having your colours touch as much as possible. And this is me playing through the face ref to actually get some colour reference, because as much as I love this character I'm making, I haven't actually like committed her colours to memory yet, or made swatches, which is the easiest way I could be doing it. But yeah, as you can see, I'm being very careful about not making the colours intersect and not overlap on the lines. Basically, you're just colouring in the lines digitally, and there are way better ways to do this, I'm sure, but for the life of me, I've not figured them out. But I figured, you know, if I'm this far along with Photoshop and I'm helping you guys out who are just starting out, this will at least get your foot in the door with it. Like, you'll be able to figure it out from here, and it won't be as much of a headache for you guys later on when you guys eventually figure this stuff out way better than I have. Like, I'm looking forward to all of you surpassing me one day. But yeah, that's basically the whole process, and I just wanted to sort of very quickly sort of show that off to you guys, let you know that this was just something that came to mind last night, because I'm not usually like a traditional artist anymore. Like, I'm not going to say I outright abandoned it, but I didn't. Once I got my Cintiq, that was it. I was full-time digital. Like, it was just easy to do it that way. Thank you, Joey. But yeah, I just, like I said, this is just something that came to mind. I just wanted to throw a video together for you guys, and hopefully this one has helped. Like I said, it's going to be a very quick one compared to like a lot of other videos. It's going to be like, if I'm looking at the time right now, about 8 minutes, probably not even that. But yeah, hopefully you've got some use out of this. It wasn't really the intended video I was going to make today. I was going to do a Let's Draw. Still kind of undecided on who I'm going to do for that. I know I said I was planning on doing Diane. Joey, cut that out. Thank you. Sorry, he's jingling his spoon. But yeah, so I haven't really fully decided whether or not I am going to do Diane, or if I'm going to do, I know someone in the comments suggested Papyrus and Sands. I'll probably only do one each, but I'll do both, but like I'll do them individually, if you get what I mean. Or I might actually take up Leafy Pole on his suggestion of Toy Chica and Toy Freddy mixed together, because I would love to do a fusion video. I know Plague of Gripes has done them. I'm sure there are other YouTube artists that have done them, but I do actually find that stuff super fascinating. I would love to do a fusion video. So yeah, that might be an interesting place to start. Like, two characters I'm not very familiar with, like take you through the process even of picking like distinguishing traits from characters and merging them together, that sort of thing. So if you're into that idea, let me know. If you guys have any other questions, don't ever feel, you know, ashamed or afraid to throw them down in the comments. I will always listen to them, and I'll always try and respond to the ones that I can. So I will see you guys in the next video. This has been me, you've been you, thank you for watching.